Hello and welcome to MMA Crypt Manager. On today's show, we have Team Misfits taking on Team No Love as we select fighters from the UFC 174 card. Joining me on today's show will be the reigning champion and manager of Team Misfits, Mr. Brian Hunt. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
Challenging Brian today, managing Team No Love, we have Mr. Derek Love. Welcome to the show, Derek.
Thanks for having me, guys. Brian, you're going down.
Dream, bitch, dream.
Wow, smack talking early. Well, to all our listeners at home, Brian is the champion, and Derek Love called Brian out upon hearing of his victory.
Oh, he said I was going down, but that's what his mom said, so I'm used to that from that family.
Wow.
Listens to these, Brian.
I'm going to have to put an 18 plus on this video now. Okay, before we select our fighters for today's show, let's find out who was the winning manager and winning team for UFC Fight Night 42. Now, obviously, the winning manager and winning team was Brian Hunt with Team Misfits, as he is the champion today. His captain, John Dodson, picked up 2 points. Number 2 pick, Scott Jorgensen, picked up 2 points. Rustam Kabalov picked up 0 points. Number 4 pick, Rafael Dos Anjos, picked up 3 points. And his number 5 pick, Diego Sanchez, did pick up 2 points, but Brian refused the points as he felt Diego Sanchez did not win the fight. So that did total 11 points for Team Misfits. Team Misfits was taking on Team Dirty. That was managed by me. We managed to pick up 10 points on the night, so there was 1 point in it. So if the Ross Pearson decision did go my way, I would be the champion right now. But I'll let you have your victory there, Brian.
I appreciate it.
Well, to all the listeners at home, Brian did refuse the points, but obviously he couldn't give me the 2 points. So, you know, he was playing fair there. You didn't have to do that, Brian, to be honest. So
I felt dirty.
Just to let you know, Brian, if it was the other way around, I would not refuse the points. Well, let's move on to the rules for the MMA Crypt Manager. Now, each manager will take turns to select a fighter for their team. Each manager can select no more than 5 fighters for their team. You must pick your captain first. Your captain will earn double points if he is victorious. Now let's move on to the scoring. You get 2 points if your fighter wins, and you get 1 extra point if your fighter finishes the fight. Okay, Brian, as you are the champion, you get to select first. So pick your captain and your first pick, please, Brian.
It's going to have to be Mighty Mouse for me.
So Brian's going with Demetrius Johnson for his first pick. Is there a particular reason there, Brian? He's got a pretty tough fight in Bagantinov.
He does, but I've been on his nuts for a while now, so I've been a huge fan. The weight division was damn near made for him. He's just perfect for the weight division, and his speed's kind of hard to mimic, so we'll see. But he's got a tough fight. I think they're all tough, but I like my chances.
Well, there was a lot of question that he couldn't finish a fight, but obviously he knocked out Joseph Benavidez in his last bout, so he is finishing fights. That if he does win, it does look more like a 4-pointer, so it's sort of safe, but you know, might not get you that full 6 points. Does that concern you, Brian?
No, I'll just pick them all right, so it doesn't matter what the points are.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, they've got to win. Fuck the knockout bonus, you know what I mean? You've got to get the 2 points. The 2 points is first and foremost, you know? The bonus points, that's a little sweetener. Well, Derek, let's move on to you. What's your first pick and captain?
I'll take Daniel Serafin.
Daniel Serafin from the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. He was highly touted to win the first season, but obviously he had to pull out through injury. That's a pretty good pick. He's fighting on the prelim FX card for your listeners at home. He's facing off against Kichi Kinemuto. Reason for that pick there, Derek?
I think he's going to win. I think he's going to finish.
Well, I'm just looking at Kichi Kunimoto. He's well more experienced than Daniel Serafian, that's for sure. Serafian's got a record of 8 wins and 4 losses. Kiichi Kuramoto's got a record of 16, 5 and 2. He's mainly fought for the Pancrase organisation over in Japan, obviously. He's only had 1 fight in the UFC. That was the UFC Fight Night Safin versus Lim. Risky one here, Derek. I don't like going against these Japanese guys who we never heard of, you know. We don't get to see them much over in these Japanese organisations like Pancrase. We shall see how that turns out. It's a bit risky for a captain. How do you feel about that there, Brian? You feeling confident?
Serafin's favored quite a bit via Vegas, but right now I think there's a lot of question marks on both guys. It's easy to look good against not good people, so we'll see.
That's very true. Okay, let's move on to your second pick, Brian.
I'm going OSP.
Oh, very good pick. Very good pick.
I don't think he's going to finish Jimmo, but Jimmo will get hurt and won't finish the fight, so it'll be a finish either way.
What do you think of that pick there, Derek?
That's who I wanted to pick.
Oh. Was he high up on your list?
Actually, I wanted Mighty Mouse and OSP, so he kind of took my 2 first picks.
Oh!
The joys of being a champion, eh? Okay, Derek, let's move on to your second pick. Who are you going with?
I'll take Mike Easton.
Mike Easton.
I don't think he'll finish the fight, but I think he'll win. I think he's a sure thing.
Well, Yves Jabin is 1 win and 2 losses in his last 3 fights. Obviously, losses to Eddie Wineland and Brad Pickett, and no shame there. Before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak. Ian Loveland, Valal Watson, and Jeff Hogland. So, good opponent there. But Mike Easton, he's not been on the best of runs himself, to be honest, if I can recall. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, he's lost his last 3. This is a potential lose-leaves town fight, this. His last 3 losses were to TJ, obviously the new champion. No shame there. Split decision loss to Brad Pickett. And Rafael Asuncao, who many consider is a potential title challenger. Interesting pick there, Derek. For your second pick, for sure. A lot of fans have him as the favourite for some reason also, so we shall see. Okay, let's move on to our third pick. Brian, who's your third pick?
I'm going to go Bader.
Bader?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Bader fan, but I like his chances in this fight. I think his wrestling's going to show.
Agreed. Also, Cavalcanti seems to gas in the fight, and I'm talking round 1 gassing.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I like that pick there, Brian. That's a pretty good pick. Now, I'm not going to pick sides here, but I'm looking at the teams. I'm certainly favouring Misfits team here right now. No offence to Derek.
He's taken 3 guys I wanted. Those were my first 3 picks.
Well, Derek, let's see if you can strengthen your team and turn me onto your side. Who's your third pick?
Oh, man. I don't even like this pick, but I got to go with Brendan Schaub.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, Brian likes that. I'm taking Andrei Arlovsky's going to be on your team later on.
Just check it now. I'm not a huge Arlovsky fan. I'm just not a Schaub fan, so.
Derek can pick Arlovsky if he wants to, make sure you don't pick him, but he'll sort of nullify one of his picks. He is actually on a 2-fight win streak, so all's not bad. LeVar Johnson and Matt Mitrione. Obviously, LeVar Johnson, I believe he hits harder than Andrei Arlovsky. Obviously, he's not as fast, not as crisp. Matt Mitrione.
He just laid on him, though. That's all he did, is just lay on him, so.
Yeah, I remember that fight, right? There was actually talking, and I think LeVar said something to him on the lines of, "Why are you not fighting me, bro?" or something. He said, "I need to win." He said, "Fair enough." When your opponent says, "Why are you not fighting me?" you know it's a dull fight. Let's have a look at Andrei Arlovsky. After his loss to Anthony Johnson, he's been on a 2-fight win streak with a win against Mike Kyle and Andreas Kraniltakis.
I'm good with that.
He defeated Kraniltakis by 2-KO punches. That was November 2013, so he's had a good 7 months out or something since his last fight. A lot of people seem to think we're going to have sort of like a Robbie Lawler return for Andrzejowski. He's going to come back reinvigorated, more experienced, determined. So we shall see. I believe that Brennan Schwab's the perfect matchup for him to do that, to be honest with you. Big name. A guy could potentially knock out. He's obviously a lot quicker on the feet. Obviously, he's been knocked out a good few times now. So we shall see. It's a perfect matchup for Andrzejowski here, in my opinion.
I think it's a 50-50 pick. I mean,
yeah.
The only reason why I'm taking is to make it interesting with Derek. So if I had to take one, I'd take Oflosky. So it works for me.
Well, let's link on to our fourth pick. Brian, what's your fourth pick?
Oh, Andre. Taking Oflosky.
Was you going to pick Arlovsky, or was that because Derek picked Brennan Schwab?
He was high on my list. It's a 50-50 fight, but he was high on my list. So I like to keep it interesting. So.
Okay, so that puts both teams with a fight facing off against each other. Derek, what's your fourth pick? Will you be trying to select somebody to go against one of Brian's guys now?
Nope, I'm going to take Elizabeth Phillips.
Do you know much about her, Derek?
I've seen one tape on her, and she looks like she's pretty well-rounded.
She's 4-1. She's fighting Valerie Letinau, who's 5-3. Looks like both women's debut in the UFC. Interesting pick there, Derek. We shall see if that pays off for you. Okay, let's move on to our fifth and final pick. Brian, who's your fifth and final pick?
This one's a hard one. It really is. I'm kind of high on the guy, and I'm not a fan of the other guy, so I think it's more of an emotional pick versus a smart pick, but I'm going to go Tyrone Woodley.
You don't like Thunderbirds, Brian?
What's that?
You don't like Thunderbirds?
No, I don't want to see another interview with Rory, so just non-emotional, he's a weird cat. Damn good fighter, but a weird cat, and I'm hoping Tyrone has cardio, so...
I never really noticed his weirdness until you pointed it out, and I thought, what's Brian talking about here? And I checked him out. He reminds me of a cardboard cutout. He's very stiff.
Yes.
Like he irons over the top all his stuff, and yeah, it's very, very strange character. And his answers as well, like you mentioned in the interviews, his answers are very weird. Remember the GSP thing? Wasn't very enjoyable for the interviewer, that's for sure.
No.
Well, Woodley looked good against Carlos Condit, who gave him all he can handle in that fight. That's pretty impressive. I'm really on Tyrone Woodley's nuts, to be honest with you, Brian. I had him down as being a potential champion, but we shall see. We have his teammate Hector Lombard, who has something to say about that. But let's move on to you now, Derek. What's your fifth and final pick?
I kind of want to flip a coin on this one, but I don't have one. Either of you guys got any pocket change?
Well, I don't want to help you out, but you could go Rory. He wasn't too sure on that one. That could at least possibly gain you 2 points on Brian or 3. But also it is a big risk too. But like I mentioned, you do have Andrzejowski versus Brennan Schwab. That's going to turn the tide for one of you. So matching up another fight with another fighter, it could be risky, but it could even things up if one of you, if Brennan Schwab does lose to Arlovsky. At least if Rory McDonald does win. That's a potential thing to look at.
I've got a coin for you if you want.
Okay.
You me flip it?
Yeah, flip it and let me know what it is.
Who's your picks if it's heads or tails?
Heads, I'll go with McDonald. Tails, on Mashiro Takanaka.
Okay, I'm going to flip it on the desk. I'm going to put the phone by the desk, see if you can hear it so you know it's legit. Heads.
All right, McDonald it is.
Oh, back to back.
Well, looking at both the teams, obviously I don't know much about Elizabeth Phillips. Brennan Schwab, I just feel the upset's going to happen there. Rory McDonald, I feel like you got 3 points in that. I think he could possibly submit Tyrone Woodley. So that's 3 points. Mike Easton, obviously that's a 50-50 fight. Daniel Serafin's your captain, so obviously that's 6 points. That's 9 points, I'm guaranteeing you there. Misfits team, Demetrius Johnson, I think decision. So that's 4 points. Ovid St. Prue. I think he's going to finish the fight, so that'll be 7 points. Ryan Bader. 2 points. This Works out right. I think Brian could just edge it, going off my personal opinion here.
My first 3 picks I felt really good with. The last 2, not so much.
I really wanted those first 3 picks of yours, Brian, so I think you're safe.
Well, I don't feel good of going into this fight because I think Derek follows this a lot better than I do. At least he remembers a lot more about it than I do. So I don't feel very good about it, but we shall see.
Well, it's all the more important to defeat Derek because he called you out, He came out, challenged you on the forums. We can't be having this. You need to make a statement, Brian. Nobody calls you out on the forums.
I think the mother statement was enough, and I'll just hold it at that.
Well, yeah.
And Derek's used to it from me, so we go back.
Derek, is there anything you want to say to Brian?
I just want to point out to Brian that when it comes to predicting fights, I'm kind of on a roll. 2 seconds and a first in the MMA Crypt PCs, so watch out.
Well, see, 2 seconds don't do you any good in this situation because you're going to be second, and I will be first. So I like my odds then.
Well, to any listeners, if you would like to make some predictions for the UFC 174 card, you can stop by the MMAcrypt.com website and enter our prediction contest 132 for UFC 174. You simply pick a winner, a fight finish, and a round. Okay, from MMA Crypt Manager, thank you for watching.